movies and games and TV shows, the Cinemaniacs podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Cinemaniacs podcast, where we talk movies, games, and TV shows. I am your host, Maceo, and as always, I am joined by my co-host,
Matthew.
And today, got a lot of shit to cover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it. Got a bunch of trailers.
Yep.
Bunch of trailers this week. We got a final creator trailer, Killers of the Flower Moon trailer, and Henry Sugar trailer, the wonderful story of Henry Sugar. And I want to say about the creator trailer specifically, this one I think was better than the first one.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it while watching one of the football games last night that it came on during commercial.
Okay. The music is better. I like this version more than the Dream On Aerosmith one that they had planned.
Yeah.
I think this one fits and sets the tone a lot better.
Yeah. I can see that.
Killers of the Flower Moon still looks great.
Yeah.
It's just continuing, just looks good. A wonderful story of Henry Sugar. Not much to make of it yet. It looks like a Wes Anderson, project. So, it's either way. It goes either way, and I think it looks cute so far. And speaking of the wonderful story of Henry Sugar, we have confirmed the 4 short stories that Wes Anderson will be telling on Netflix. So the first one, obviously, is The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, coming out September 27th. And then September 28th is The Swan, The Ratcatcher, and Poison. And these are all based on Roald Dahl children's stories.
Yeah.
The Ratcatcher looks like it's going to be animated. So it's going to be another Wes Anderson animated film, which is very nice. Obviously, Fantastic Mr. Fox, incredible movie. And then Isle of Dogs, I have not seen, but is praised pretty well. So
I wonder if all the casting people that we've heard about, and maybe haven't seen, I wonder if they're all specifically for The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, or if some of them are not in that one specifically, but in, some of these other ones.
Yeah. I'm curious as to maybe the all the actors that we've seen, the cast that we've seen for Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, maybe that cast is for all of it.
Yeah, for all of it.
Just those actors like Benedict Cumberbatch and Ben Kingsley, Ralph Fiennes, all of them are for these probably.
Okay.
It's very interesting. Florence Pugh is reportedly the creators of Last of Us, the show, their top choice for Abby in season 2.
Yeah.
Who Abby is a very polarizing character.
Yeah.
She does acts in the second game that are very big spoilers, so I will not reveal those here. But she is a very polarizing character. But Florence Pugh as Abby, I will say that is a very solid pick. She's got some muscle on her.
Yeah.
She is a very, very muscular woman, both Abby and Florence Pugh, and I think Florence, I think she's got it. I think she could easily do that role.
Yeah.
I know you don't really have much opinion on that just based on because of the game, but
but I've seen what she looks like. So
right. But what do you think? What do you think of Florence Pugh as Abby?
She looks like she could probably. I mean, she's obviously a great actress, in the first part, so she's gonna turn in like a really great performance and stuff. But like you said, she physically and stuff has like a good amount of muscle and stuff on her, which obviously is kind of required for the role of Abby and her character and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I think she'd probably be a pretty good choice. Honestly, I'll say this, not pretty more mainstream than I was expecting, honestly.
Yeah,
not obviously not bad, definitely not bad. Just more mainstream than I was expecting.
That's very fair. I think her and Pedro Pascal are arguably probably the same level of fame.
Yeah.
I think that's a very, very good comparison.
Yeah.
All I hope is that they don't do the they're probably going to do it, but I hope they don't. There's a sex scene with Abby. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a sex scene with Abby and this dude, and she it like towers over him and is like so like Hulk over him, you know?
Yeah.
It's such an uncomfortable sex scene. So I'm hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, but I'm very interested in that.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan. Some anime news here.
Yeah.
The final episode is coming out November 4th.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, I'm assuming, like a movie type episode where it's longer.
I think so, yeah. I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah. And then I haven't seen the last episode that they released. The hour-long special.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I read the manga, so I know what happens in like the story and stuff, but I just haven't gotten around to watching that previous one. Maybe I'll just watch like this one and the final one or something when they come out
Back to back.
close to back to back. You know?
Might as well one big like movie, you know.
Yeah, like the whole final arc together. Probably
Yeah.
how they should have done it or whatever.
Yeah, well, you know,
Because the episode, how long is the previous one? Like an hour long?
it's
or something
I
like
think
that?
it's an hour. Yeah.
Could have had like a 2-hour long movie where
Yeah.
both together. But hey, we got Attack on Titan, the final season 4, final season, final. It's definitely final this time.
Final part, final 2, final 3, season 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that's so funny. But yeah, Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
I gotta keep up. I gotta keep watching. What do you think? Do you think that they're gonna be able to, like, because with the knowledge that you know what happens,
Like
so
the ending and stuff. Yeah. I mean, I think
it's enough.
I think that they'll probably animate it well and stuff like that. I think that the ending itself will probably be just as polarizing as the manga's ending. I mean, it's going to be...
Oh, okay.
I imagine it will probably be the same ending. Maybe they do some crazy stuff and change it, but I imagine it will probably be the same ending. And yeah, it was very polarizing. A very polarizing ending to a story, and I imagine the anime will be the exact same way, probably.
Okay, I'm very interested. I did not realize it was a polarizing ending.
Not like Game of Thrones, kind of. Well, Game of Thrones isn't really polarizing because most people are like negative on it,
Yeah.
but it's not in like. At least I would say it's like polarizing with more people leaning like positive. I'd say.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it's just what happens in like the ending itself is polarizing, not necessarily like the quality of the ending itself.
Yeah.
But just like what actually the ending is and
In the
stuff
story.
like that, and the story,
Yeah.
and what it means and everything. I think that in itself is kind of polarizing, but the quality as well. Some people,
Yeah.
it's really not that long running of a show, but they've kind of stretched it out way longer than it should have been, stretched out. And there was a whole studio switch, which also, costed them some time as well and stuff. So there have been some setbacks, but the manga really isn't that long, so the show probably could have been done a while ago. But either way, it'll still probably be a pretty watched episode, final episode, I imagine. It's going to be a big phenomenon.
Yeah.
Big show ending.
I mean, you're right. It hasn't even lasted that long as a show. It really isn't that long spanning of time, but it feels like it has. Yeah. It feels like it's been out for a long ass time.
I mean, it has. The first season came out in like 2013, 2014, so almost 10 years now.
Okay, yeah. So 10 years, but there's only 4 seasons, which is the thing, that they've spread 4 seasons out of the course of
over those years.
10 years. That's crazy.
And it's really because after the first season was made, they went like 3 or 4 years before the second season came out because it didn't get picked up immediately after the first season. So it was like the first season came out, and then it was like, okay, is this going somewhere? And then
do we like this?
Season 2 happened and stuff, and Season 3, I think, happened shortly after Season 2, and then the studio changed, set them back a bit, and then Season 4 dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
All right. Well, some gaming news.
Ooh, yes.
A lot of gaming news.
Yeah.
We had another Nintendo Direct as well.
Yeah.
But before that, it is said that it is confirmed that there's going to be over 65 customizable suits in Spider-Man 2.
Customizable suits.
Yeah.
So, like, you can change, like, the color layouts and stuff of them. That's really awesome, man.
Yeah. I saw a photo of the same suit, different colors.
And they showed like some of the suit like screens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they have plenty for Miles and for Peter, like a lot.
It's looking real good.
Yeah, and they even slightly showed us that they have Tobey Maguire's symbiote suit from Spider-Man 3 in the game. So I mean, we don't know how many, symbiote suits there are or anything like that. It hasn't been confirmed exactly. But I would say that Tobey Maguire's probably isn't the only one.
No, I would assume that I'd assume you get Toby's like actual suit.
Yeah.
And then there's the variant, which is the black
Getting
suit.
the black suit.
And just like every other suit, maybe there's a variant.
So maybe that, because I think that was like a leak or like a rumor about the game a while back, is that there will be like a symbiote version of every single suit, which
makes sense.
That's really cool. I mean,
it really makes sense because I mean, if they want you to be able to go back and play the game as like any skin, any suit, it would have to then have a black suit.
A black suit counterpart.
Variant, because it's not gonna. That means it would make you play as the default black suit if it didn't have one. But we see that Toby's suit is in that black suit scene, so it's obvious that
means we could potentially get like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 black suit via this game. Yeah,
it's very two different versions of the TASM suit in black.
Yeah.
Very. I mean, I think it's more than likely to happen.
Yeah. I think it was the most requested suit probably by far from that wasn't in the first game.
It's crazy that it's not in the first game.
Yeah.
It even when the first game came out, it was still like that's the best Spider-Man suit. Why is it not in this game?
Yeah.
Very, very strange. But at the same time, it's clearly like you want to play as the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit? You gotta buy Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
You gotta play it on PS5. Yep.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for Spider-Man. Comes out October 20th. We're so close.
Well, hold on, bro. They dropped another little bit of news as well.
Oh.
They confirmed Mysterio.
Oh, yes.
Is in the game.
Oh, yes.
And we got a first look at him.
Yep. Is a GameStop employee. I saw people like, it's just a normal dude. Yeah. It's just a guy.
Yeah, it's just a dude. But not Mysterio in the...
do you think we'll see bubble helmet and all that?
Well, my thing is like, they've already like, he's like in that like Halloween mission or whatever. There's people that dress up as Mysterio.
They know he's real already.
Yeah, he's obviously real. So I'd say probably,
it'd be weird to have Mysterio and not do the bubblehead.
It's kind of crazy because I wasn't expecting this game to have I was expecting this game to be like, okay, unlike the first one, it's not going to have that many like villains.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, oh, Kraven and Venom, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, but there's the Lizard in it.
Lizard,
as well. And then there's Mysterio of course, as well. So there's obviously going to be Wraith because they already built up.
They already teased
Yuri
Wraith,
into Wraith, So
that's 5 right there.
Yeah.
And if Kraven's in it, his half brother Chameleon might be in it.
Oh my gosh, I hope Chameleon's in it.
That would be such a good like kind of stealth fight.
Oh yeah.
Or like even story wise, I'm here. You just can't see me. I'm blended in with the crowd. Chameleon. So do they just do another Sinister Six with a different lineup?
Oh, and we know Mr. Negative's in it as well.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is gonna be a decently packed game.
Yeah. It's looking stacked.
Probably won't be like Sinister Six because the villains probably aren't gonna be like coordinated.
They won't come together. Probably
more so like Miles and Peter are just like having to take them on like one after the other type stuff.
Yeah, especially with Lizard, who's a character that kind of he's weird because it's not like where all these different villains had like vendettas against Spider-Man before they came, a villain.
Yeah.
He became the Lizard and then fought against Spider-Man and is like, I actually don't really want to be a villain, kind of. So he has no reason to be on a team of villains, probably.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
But yeah, Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2, it's going to be good,
It's
man.
close. It's so close. And then more gaming news. Like I said, we got a Nintendo Direct, and they announced a whole bunch of... There's 2 new games, I think it was. Yeah, there's 2 new games, which are the Princess Peach Showtime. So she's getting her... This is Princess Peach's second game as the lead character. The last time was almost 20 years ago. But this one sees Peach as she is in a theater type world, and she dresses up as, swashbuckling pirate, detective, chef. It's just it looks like it's a very dress up oriented game, but also theater oriented. It's very theater based.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it's more than just like mini games, because it looks like a bunch of mini games compiled together. I'm hoping there's an actual story, but it didn't really give us a story, so we'll have to wait and see for another trailer. And then the other new game, F-Zero fans are going crazy, is F-Zero 99, which is a 99 player online game. They did this.
Wow.
They did this with Mario. They did it was called Mario 35, but it's 99 players online.
Yeah.
And it was a limited game, so it lasted for about half a year, and then it got shut off. And it was literally 99 players play through one Mario level and try to get to the end. It's the entire game.
Yeah.
And so they're basically doing the same thing with F-Zero, but it seems like this is more of a permanent game, so people will always be able to play it.
Okay.
And then the rest of these are all DLC and ports. The DLC is Mario Kart. We got our final character roster of Mario Kart booster course pack, along with one course, which is Daisy Circuit, but that's the only one that they announced. The characters are Peachette, who is, if you don't know, that's Toadette as Peach. It's a very strange character to add in.
Yeah.
Yet another Peach variant, because we need more of those. There's like 10 Peach variants in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So Peachette, Pauline, who is being ported over from the Mario Kart Tour game.
That's cool.
I'm so happy she finally made it into a mainline Mario Kart game.
For sure.
Diddy Kong, who surprisingly is not in this game already. I kind of thought he was.
I think he was one of the most requested ones from what I was hearing.
It makes sense. I mean, why was he not in it to begin with?
Yeah.
But I honestly thought he was, and I just never played as him.
Yeah.
And my favorite, Funky Kong, is coming back. I was playing Mario Kart today, and I was like, I'm gonna play as Funky Kong every time. He's just gonna be the only character I play as when it comes out. I'm very excited to play as these characters and on these final tracks. The booster course pack has been a lot of fun, and it's getting me hyped for a new Mario Kart game. Either that, or they're just gonna keep adding to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for all eternity. But
just have a giant character select screen.
Yeah. Which sounds like the ideal Mario Kart, to be honest, is like one Mario Kart game that they keep updating and adding to, with like new features, new characters, new tracks, new items. It just seems like that would be the most ideal things.
Yeah.
But we'll see. They might do that. They might make a new game with their Switch 2 that might be coming out here soon. Who knows? And then the ports, I'm so excited. So we obviously got more look at Mario RPG, the remastered version, which I can't wait to play. I've never played Mario RPG. I'm so excited to play that.
Yeah.
And then we got Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. And what's very interesting about this is that the original version of Luigi's Mansion 2 is called Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. And it was on the 3DS, and in America it was called Dark Moon. But I learned that they changed it I don't know why they changed it, but the Luigi's Mansion 2 title is the European title. So they're giving everybody the European version of the title and just kind of wiping away Dark Moon. Very strange choice. And then we got it was just there's only one other port, and it's Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door, which is the most praised Paper Mario game. And I love Paper Mario. My favorite game of all time is Super Paper Mario, and that's the most polarizing game in the series. And this is the most praised, and I've never played it. And they're remastering it completely new graphics, everything. And I am so excited to play this game. It better live up to the hype. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I have thought about it long and hard, and I think I like the Paper Mario world more than I like the regular Mario world.
Yeah.
I'm a very, very big Paper Mario fan.
Paper Mario for Mario Kart.
Yeah, I genuinely thought that they might add him to Smash a while back. It made a lot of sense. He's Mario. He's like a variant of Mario, but he's completely different.
Yeah.
He would be more like Mr. Game & Watch because he's a flat 2D character.
I would love to just literally go to the edge of the map and then turn around and see him just flip sides.
Yeah, that would be so funny. Oh yeah, and I really thought they were gonna add him in, but they never did. And and Mario Kart 2 would have been a lot of fun. But but very exciting gaming news. Star Wars news.
Yeah.
There's some big Star Wars news. Not necessarily good.
Yeah.
Lando, starring Donald Glover, was a show. It was a Disney Plus show, and is now going to be a movie.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Honestly, I don't know what to think really, but I'm kind of a little ever so slightly more positive that it's a movie, I guess, over a show.
Yeah.
I feel like the pacing and stuff like that of a lot of the Disney Plus shows have been a real issue.
It's rough, yeah.
And I think that a lot of them, Disney or Marvel, would service better as movies, or at least condensed more into a movie format. And Lando probably could have fallen victim to that same thing.
Yeah.
And it still could be just a shitty movie.
It could just be a bad movie, yeah.
But maybe it is benefited by being a movie rather than a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very possible. I saw, now since I'm not the Star Wars expertise, I saw our good buddy Sean Chandler posted a reaction to this news and said that it didn't really make a whole lot of sense, since the important part of Lando's character arc happens in Empire Strikes Back. His entire, when he kind of shifts as a character.
Yeah.
And when he becomes interesting, even though that's the first movie he appears in.
Yeah.
But it is when it's the most important version of that character.
Yeah.
Based on what he said, I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. It does. That based off that information, it does make sense that it's a little weird to have a pre-existing project at all.
Yeah.
Especially since we already saw Lando in Solo.
Yeah.
And we saw what he was doing and how he was as a character. I don't know if we need a whole movie or project based around him.
I didn't really think that it was. I don't know. I don't think it would. Even when it was announced, I didn't think it was the most necessary thing, and especially because we don't really know if it's taking place before Solo or after Solo, or maybe closer to A New Hope, possibly. Don't really know when it's taking place. It feels like the main selling point is Donald Glover as Lando. That's the main thing.
Biggest thing.
He was one of the best parts of Solo. One of the
Solo
definitely has its problems, but Donald Glover as Donald Glover as Lando is definitely not one of those glaring issues with that movie. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like they were probably oh yeah, we got to capitalize off this charisma kind of performance and stuff.
This jack of all trades person.
I kind of feel like it'll be before Solo. And I feel like it will have the droid that he was like really close with.
Like had sex with or something.
Yeah. I feel like it will have that droid probably in it because there always has to be like in there in the spotlight droid character. Yeah. And it feels like that would probably be the most serviceable. They could obviously just be like, oh yeah, here's a random one,
Yeah.
This guy just came up, washed up from the shore.
Yeah.
But I don't know. In general, didn't really need a Lando project in the first place, but could be better that it's a movie and not a show.
It's definitely that news in itself is like better news. Yeah. I think. Especially like with the quality and pacing of a lot of the shows, Marvel or Star Wars, they've been having their issues. Yeah. And so the movie
just Disney Plus shows in general, feel like,
yeah. Did you feel this problem with High School Musical, the series?
Yeah, man, those definitely should have been a climactic cinematic experience.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. That and the Willow show, of course.
Oh, yes.
Can't forget about that.
Yeah, the all-loved Willow show that everybody knows came out.
Hey, though, new Disney Plus show coming out December. I just saw like new pictures I think that they released from it, like teaser stuff. The Percy Jackson and the Olympians.
Yeah, it's getting more.
It seems like they're really pushing for that one.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of hoping for it to be kind of good too, because I hear a lot of good things about the Percy Jackson books, and I now understand that like the previous Percy Jackson movies weren't like that faithful to the books, really. So I'm definitely excited to see it in like a show format and with like a more faithful adaptation and stuff like that. Younger cast members and stuff like that. I feel like it'll fit probably pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it's got Walker Scobell in it. He's I've seen him in one movie and I'm already like he's great.
He's great. Yeah,
he's fantastic. But so Lando's a movie now.
Yes.
Okay, now here's where it gets really rough.
Okay.
So Taika Waititi has left his project. The Taika Waititi Star Wars project is now canceled.
Yes, I just heard about this.
Yeah. Which means that Star Wars / Disney has now lost Gareth Edwards, Phil Lord and Chris Miller,
Colin
Trevorrow, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, Patty Jenkins, and now Taika Waititi.
Okay. I will say this. There is one W amongst these names. Do you know who?
There's actually...
There might be more than one, but there's one that is like... Obviously, Phil Lord and Chris Miller is a huge L. That's like a huge L.
That is the biggest L ever.
Taika Waititi, losing to him is obviously a pretty big L for me as well. I kind of want to see him in the Star Wars universe. But D&D, as they're known, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss.
Yeah.
That's a W.
Okay.
They were like the showrunners for Game of Thrones. They were the guys that were like, yeah, we're just done making Game of Thrones, so we're just gonna run it into the ground, basically.
That's a W.
They're nicknamed Dumb and Dumber by the
That's hilarious.
By the fan base.
That's hilarious. I thought you were gonna say Patty Jenkins just because of Wonder Woman 1989.
Yeah,
or 84.
I think I've heard. I actually haven't seen the second Wonder Woman.
You're good. Don't watch it. I'm protecting you.
But I have heard negative things about Patty Jenkins and stuff like that.
I don't know necessarily anything about her as a director or person, obviously, but I mean, Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman movie, is a better DCEU film, but it's got many, many problems.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 2, 1984, has nothing but problems and is nothing but a big piece of garbage.
Yeah.
And Pedro Pascal couldn't even save that movie. He's probably the best thing in it, and he couldn't save it. He couldn't do anything with it. But this post that I have here, it says it seems that Star Wars / Kathleen Kennedy has a major problem on their hands, unable to work with innovative directors. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know. There are a lot of names on there that are like mainly Phil Lord and Chris Miller and Taika Waititi.
yes,
That are like big, like stylistic kind of popular voices in like the film industry nowadays and stuff. And it does kind of suck that, they one way or another couldn't get, their problem solved with them as well.
Yeah.
And stuff,
Yeah.
I'm also surprised they didn't add Zack Snyder in here.
Yes.
Because-
Well, it says innovative directors.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. He makes okay movies.
When he wants to.
Wait, yeah, when he feels like it. But the Phil Lord and Chris Miller, that hurts.
Yeah, that definitely hurts.
Especially because their movie honestly could have ended up being the best Star Wars project.
Oh yeah,
It easily,
especially if it was like an animated thing with
Yeah.
really like innovative animation and stuff. Oh my gosh, yeah.
it's like it had the potential to be like, without even knowing what it would have been about, just knowing that they were going to do it
Yeah.
made it have the potential of being as good, if not better than Empire.
Yeah.
It had that potential. But now, nope,
Yeah.
not happening now. So
And then Taika Waititi, he could have made, obviously he's a more polarizing guy.
after one movie,
Yeah. But
he did one movie that was
he
bad.
could have made, a lighthearted, more comedy centric Star Wars project, which really Star Wars is kind of lacking. There isn't really like a funny project, or
Yeah.
anything like fun, at least funny, and like it's trying to be funny.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
the funniest projects are the prequels, and they're all it's all because
yeah,
of the memes.
it's like the real like campy kind of cringy dialogue
Yeah.
and stuff.
There's no I mean, even when Star Wars has jokes, they're like Disney, they're just Disney jokes.
Yeah.
It's just kind of observation
Yeah.
funny,
Or like the old movies, they're just like old jokes. They really are kind of
Yeah.
like old jokes that are like, well, that was really funny in 1983.
yeah. Or it's funny because it's like, or the jokes are based around Star Wars lore, and George Lucas hadn't established all the lore yet.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, well, this will be funny one day.
just saying randoms.
yeah. Just like
So that's canon now.
yeah. like Ben Kenobi goes, this is almost as bad as Rey Skywalker. And then they won't get this yet. They'll understand what this means one day. Yeah, but some Star Wars news looking kind of bleak, but
Yeah.
also there's some nice stuff in there with the Lando being a movie now.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
Just kind of sucks about Taika Waititi, obviously, in these lists of names of
Yeah.
people that they haven't really been able to work with and stuff.
Yeah. It really sucks. Yep. That was my movies, games, and TV shows.
Okay, well, I'll keep it really short. I only got two little tidbits to add.
Okay.
Another update of Barbenheimer.
Another update.
Later, obviously, in the year.
Yep.
Barbie is standing proud in the number one spot, obviously, at $1.42 billion now.
Yeah.
Pretty strong.
It passed the Avengers.
Yeah, it passed Avengers. I think it's like now the 10th or 11th most like
I think 11th. Yeah.
most like most money made film or whatever
Yeah.
in the most profitable film in like U.S. history or whatever.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yep.
ballin'. Super Mario Bros. At number 2 with $1.36 billion.
Yep.
And Oppenheimer finally has slidden its way into the number 3 spot at $913 million. And it also surpassed Bohemian Rhapsody, making it the most financial successful biopic ever made.
Yeah. And I think at this point now it probably is the highest grossing R-rated movie.
I think it. I want to say it.
Yeah.
Has any? No, because Joker got a bill.
Joker made $1 billion. Yeah, you're right.
I forgot about. I always forget about Joker making $1 billion.
Yeah. Which is, it is kind of crazy because thinking back at when Joker, the Joker fad was like
Yeah.
crazy. It was
Oh,
it
yeah.
was wild. When all the memes and jokes and all the online community talking about it was just crazy.
Oh yeah, the response to the movie was definitely loud for sure.
The Joker response was if Barbenheimer was one movie. It's like it kind of feels like as much as people are talking about both Barbie and Oppenheimer, Joker had more talk as one movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, it's crazy. I don't know about like what you specifically see on the internet, but specifically from what I see, bro, it's crazy how people have like really turned on the Joker in general. Like a lot of people now, I feel like it's very negative things to say about the movie, like about how it's like, oh, it's copying this from this movie and this from this movie and stuff, and it, it's not necessarily people's favorite portrayal of the Joker. A lot of people are just like, I just like Joker when he's just like a crazy guy. You know?
I mean, I agree. It's not my favorite portrayal of Joker.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say it's to me necessarily a good like Joker movie.
Yeah.
But it's still a good movie.
A good movie, yeah.
And I think everybody that's saying that are people our age that are just now finding out that King of Comedy and Taxi Driver exists.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what's going on here. But yeah, we also protrude different areas of the internet. You're on Twitter a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm on Instagram a lot. So we see very different sides, I think.
For sure. And then the last bit of news I had was that Mark Wahlberg announced, I think today, that he's looking into retiring from acting pretty soon.
Finally.
But no. Yeah, he's hanging him up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. I have no opinion on this at all. I mean, I have not seen. I know what's he in? He's in The Departed, right?
In The Departed, yeah.
And I know that that's like his one like really good role where he's like really acting.
The problem with that is like it's not even like he himself doesn't make the role good. It's mostly like where Scorsese like places him and stuff.
Yeah.
And whoever wrote the screenplay and stuff, where they wrote this character into. Mark Wahlberg, at the end of the day, in the movie, still plays literally, he plays a Boston cop with a hard Boston accent, like he does, But it's what that character means to like the story and stuff like that, and how he's used in the plot. Basically, he's more of a plot device than he is like actually giving a terrific performance. But it's probably Mark Wahlberg's best movie.
Okay,
just in general, But I don't know. I don't have much to say about it either because he's just not really my favorite actor.
I didn't realize how little I cared about Mark Wahlberg until you just said that.
Yeah, like
he's retiring from acting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like Ted.
Yeah, yeah. His probably his most famous movie.
He did 2 Ted movies. That's
cool. What he'll be known for the rest of the time. Is
he did
and beating up Asian people.
Yeah,
yeah.
Daddy's Home with Will Ferrell.
Yeah,
I mean 2 of those ones.
That's 2 is crazy. That's so wild. Yeah,
they threw Mel Gibson in there. I think in this.
Yeah, John Lithgow and Mel Gibson are their dads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, I mean, oh no, not another Uncharted movie, I guess.
Oh yeah, Uncharted.
I guess is that the consequence of Mark Wahlberg not acting anymore? Is we don't get another generic action movie?
I guess they'll probably just recast.
Yeah.
Sully, I imagine. I mean, or just be like, oh, he died.
Yeah. Yeah. They should just use Uncharted with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg as a prequel to a modern day, older version, more accurate version of the characters.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a pretty good way to do that. But get Tom Hanks as Sully.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, so that was all your all your news?
Yeah, that was my movie news for sure.
Nice. Well, then we can hop on into our comic book movie news. Werewolf by Night. It's getting a recoloration. It's getting a colorized version.
Yeah.
Getting put on Disney Plus on October 20th. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people get upset over this, which is you don't have to watch it. Just watch the black and white version. People saying like it takes away the uniqueness of it. I don't think that's entirely true. I mean, it's very unique because it's in black and white, and it's the style of movie that it is.
Yeah.
It's not that it is in black and white. Make anything in black and white doesn't make it unique.
Yeah.
But I think an in color version is completely fine.
I mean, I literally don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it really doesn't.
If I ever watch Werewolf by Night again, I probably will. Like maybe this Halloween or next Halloween, I'll probably watch the black and white version. But that's just because that's the version I watched when it came out.
Yeah,
the version I really liked and stuff. And I kind of like how it like comes to color at the end and stuff
exactly,
like that, and the like red power flashing. But obviously, nothing's wrong with a colored version of a black and white thing. I mean,
it's so weird to have a strong opinion on this.
Yeah, I don't know.
So strange. Matt Shakman, who is, the director of the new Fantastic Four movie, has left the project.
Wow.
We have no other news on that. He has left the Fantastic Four project. A lot of people...
Holy man, this movie.
Yeah, a lot of people worried that it's got a cursed production. Blade hasn't been in the same boat for a while now. It's been it's very rough. Still holding out hope on that, but Fantastic Four, they need Fantastic Four to be good.
Oh, yeah. Them and X-Men are like the two last like big teams that you can do.
Yeah. And
some people argue that Fantastic Four should have been done or should have been set up at least already, Some people have...
I agree.
They've been announced for a while, when was the first announcement for the movie?
2019.
2019, wow. Yeah, so obviously Blade's a little worse than that, right? It was announced a little bit before that, or was that at the same...
No, same. It was at the same one.
Same one. Okay.
It was those were the last two that they did. They said,
literally both have been kind of through the same boat.
Yeah, they were like, because they said, we do have we have a couple more announcements. And then they were like, we have a Fantastic Four movie in the works.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, and by the way, we have someone who'd like to say hi. And then Mahershala Ali walked out and put the Blade hat on. Everyone went wild.
Yeah.
They might have done that 2 separate times. Fantastic Four might have been 2021. Still a while ago now. But the 2019 one, they did tease. They said, we haven't even talked about Fantastic Four or the mutants. And so they've teased it already.
And it feels weird to go back and watch some of those and look at those lineup of movies, and we see a lineup of all those movies are out besides Fantastic Four and Blade.
Yeah. Very strange.
Just kind of hurts.
Yeah.
And obviously Fantastic Four, they're popular. They're Marvel's first family.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about, Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, The Thing, Human Torch, Doctor Doom.
Yeah,
Everyone knows these characters are some of the most popular Marvel characters. And it kind of sucks that this kind of does seem like a cursed production kind of thing.
So far,
they're really struggling to get the casting, get the team together for it. Yeah. They got to find a new director now.
It's not good news, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think there's still hope for this because it's not like it's been written or is starting production anytime soon. So they still have time to get it straight.
Yeah.
But it's never a good look when a director says, "Yeah, I'm not going to do this."
I think we get Martin Scorsese to direct Fantastic.
Yeah. You think? It's just a mob. It's just a gangster movie. Gangster movie in space.
Dude, that Thing is smoking a cigar with a fedora on. Hey, yo. What you got for me, Reed?
You call me funny? You think I'm funny?
What you say, Tony? There's always a guy named Tony.
Always. There's always a Tony. Yeah. But it's not sounding too great yet right now. We'll keep updated on that though.
For sure.
Kite Man. We got a Kite Man Harley Quinn animated TV show spinoff.
Oh, okay.
It's just a comedy series, and it's literally called Kite Man Hell Yeah. It's
Okay.
just nothing but it's about Kite Man.
Yeah.
It's just a dumb comedy show.
Yeah.
It looks fun. I probably won't be watching it, but it looks fun.
Cool.
And then the last bit of news that I had this week, we finally got it. 2-3 months before it comes out.
Yeah.
The Aquaman 2 trailer, Aquaman the Lost Kingdom.
Yes.
We finally got a trailer, and I won't lie, it doesn't look as bad as the test screenings were saying that it would look. So far, based on this one trailer, it looks like it's going to be fun.
Yeah. I heard that it's going to be like a bromance movie. Something about him having, him and Patrick Wilson's character, it being like a bromance road trip kind of movie is what I heard.
It feels like, yeah.
And a lot of people are excited for Black Manta coming back. I forget the actor who plays him in the...
Yaya.
But either way, a lot of people are very excited for him coming back as Black Manta. The costume definitely deserves a lot of praise for sure. That and obviously Aquaman's costume is very, very good costume design for sure.
Yeah.
And
Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I watched all of the first Aquaman movie all the way through. I think I fell asleep during it, but I did see some of the like scenes of like Black Manta specifically, and like some of the underwater scenes and stuff.
He completely leaves the movie. That scene where they're like in the rubble kind of I can't remember. It's like a sandy kind of like old town, like ghost town area.
I think I
it's
remember
like
what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's like an old island or something.
Yeah.
And like a treasure island type thing. Mm-hmm. And there's an explosion. It's him. He's there. He's attacking them. And he leaves the movie. And it's like, wow. Why'd you leave? It was a very weird exit. And I don't believe they tease him again after that. So he just kind of left. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. I don't think it's looking that bad. But hey, The Flash did the exact same thing with a great trailer. Yeah. Had me watching that trailer over and over again. And the movie was not as good as the trailer made it out to be. It's still have fun with it, but it's definitely got many, many, many issues.
At least my thing though is that with The Flash, with The Flash compared to Aquaman 2, at least we're not gonna get like this is the greatest superhero movie ever made or whatever. Like,
which might benefit this movie.
Yeah, that honestly, I think a lot of people are going to come into this movie with a lot lower expectations, which will be a good result for the, in public opinion of the movie, regardless if it's that high or not, But yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be, I think it'll just be like a pretty good, fun movie.
Yeah, it seems that way. Amber Heard, she had like one shot in the trailer.
Yeah, I know they briefly showed her. Yeah, and even in the shot she's in, she's like punching something, I think, and it like cracks. So like
and that's
distorted.
Like hides her face a little bit. Yeah.
She's definitely gonna have a reduced role. That's like
for sure. Yeah,
apparent. I did hear though that Willem Dafoe, I don't think is gonna be in it. I think his scheduling and stuff didn't. Matchup.
I can't remember if his character died or not, but I don't think so. So it might just be Willem Dafoe just couldn't show up,
Yeah, he just wasn't around. Yeah.
Hey, Aquaman, where's Willem Dafoe? He couldn't make it today, Yeah, but it's not looking that bad. Maybe they do it kind of seems like they're already pulling the opposite strategy of The Flash, which is this is the greatest movie of all time. And they realize that didn't work. So this is the worst movie of all time. And then people go see it. They realize it's not that bad. And then it becomes liked because everybody else said, oh, it was so bad.
Yeah.
And now I'm watching it for the first time and it's actually not that bad. I defend this movie, But it's not looking that bad yet. I have no reason to dislike it so far. But we'll see.
I think a lot of people though are just ready to, get through this one.
Yeah.
And
one more. We got one more. I'm ready to get this out of the way though. That's for sure.
Then we can get on to the new Vision and stuff like that.
The Gun universe.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be good, man.
It's gonna be great. Yeah, but that's all my comic book movie news.
Yeah, I didn't have any more to add. No.
All right.
So that's our comic book movie news. There.
Awesome. Well, then we can hop into our reviews this week. Did you catch Ahsoka?
I did not catch Ahsoka this week. I did. So I did watch I watched the episode where it ends on Anakin.
Episode 4. Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't watched the previous 2, so I'm still 2 behind, right?
No, you're just one behind.
Oh, just
we
one.
have one
okay.
coming out this tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
At the time
yeah,
of
yeah.
this recording.
So yeah, I'm just one behind. But I'll definitely catch up on the next 2 before the next one. But I have seen some stuff online already. Like I know that the one girl who was in Barbie this year, and she also played the young version of Gamora. She plays the young version of Ahsoka.
Yep.
I know some stuff like that.
Yes, that's pretty much yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think? So what were your thoughts on episode 4?
Honestly, it was pretty good. I thought like had a lot of So one thing I like about the show, I think, is like a lot of the fight scenes and stuff are pretty gripping and stuff. They're pretty engaging. They're not too. They don't. Some of the fight scenes, like specifically Book of Boba Fett, I think, had some fight scenes like with the stick, kind of that was like, I was watching. I'm like, I don't know what I'm watching.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
But I like the choreography and stuff. It feels more like there's like some more attention put to that aspect of like the
like they tried
the show and stuff. Yeah, and I'm really liking the antagonists more and more. Like every episode, it feels like
Baylan Skull, man.
Yeah, Baylan Skull and I don't know his like apprentice's name, but they're a very like intriguing and like intimidating kind of duo that I really like seeing them like just move and be on the prowl and stuff, doing their plans, and they don't feel like traditional like like Sith or like Star Wars villains, which they don't seem to be.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah,
and that's pretty cool. Something different.
Yeah,
and I think that was much needed, especially in the villain category for Star Wars. You know. So honestly, I don't know. Episode, and then obviously the ending. Seeing Anakin was cool. I can't wait to actually see Anakin. But
oh my, there are a couple of transitions. Where it's because it's obviously all in like I don't know, like not a dream world, but a spirit realm.
It's like the world between or what. I forget the exact name of it.
But it is like a communication with the dead type world, like a spirit realm type thing. And so there's a lot of transitions between Anakin and Vader. And they're so sick. Some beautiful ass shots.
I haven't seen because I've seen some people like just talk about it on Twitter, and then I've seen like some pictures. So I haven't seen everything, but I did see like him like holding a red lightsaber like Anakin, and then I also saw. I saw like one scene where he like flashes like in and out of like Anakin and Vader or something like that.
The shots that you're talking about, I'm pretty sure I've seen as well. Pictures don't do it justice.
Yeah.
Because it's a screenshot of one moment and then the next moment, and it's cool that you realize, so in this moment it like flashes back and forth.
Yeah.
Watching it with music, with like the beat drop that happens when it flashes and goes back. Wow. But yeah, speaking of this, so episode 5, best episode so far. I'm not even saying that just because of Anakin, because surprisingly only half the episode is with Anakin. So it starts with Anakin and stuff, and about halfway through it stops. I will say the weakest part of the episode, they spend a lot of time going back to Hera and Jason.
Oh, okay.
And they spend a lot of time going back to those characters trying to find Ahsoka. We don't need to see that. Yeah. We don't need to see the characters try and find Ahsoka. We know where she is.
Yeah.
We know she's fine.
Yeah.
So watching these characters try to figure out how to go get her, it should just end. The scene with Anakin stuff should just end when they find her.
Yeah.
We don't need to see them trying to go find her. That is probably the weakest thing about the episode. However, the first half specifically of this episode is fantastic. It's basically live action Clone Wars. It's just a lot of live action Clone Wars. Get some.
Oh yeah, I did. I didn't see it, but I heard that Anakin like wears like his Clone Wars like attire or something like that.
Yep.
That is something I'm very excited to see.
He's got it's so the way he looks at the end of Ahsoka episode 4 is that also a look from Clone Wars?
No, I think I want to say that one was more Revenge of the Sith Anakin with the black with the black robes and a little bit more like longer hair.
Yeah.
And then I haven't seen it, but the Clone Wars one would probably have shorter hair and the armor, obviously, that he wears in the Clone Wars.
Yeah. So the Clone Wars look, they got it down to the detail.
Nice.
He looks great. He looks really good.
Nice.
And this episode really puts into perspective how young Ahsoka was. I don't know. I really don't know anything about Clone Wars. I've never seen it. But I know that she was supposed to be 17, something like that, 16, 17 years old.
Yeah, I think around there. And she basically kind of matures with the show a little bit.
So like, maybe even a little younger.
Like I think she ends the show like 19 or something like that, a little older, a little more mature, something like that.
So she might be more like 14, 15 when it starts.
It's possible because she is young. Like she's Padawans are young in general, so she's pretty young. Yeah. I would say probably 14, 15 maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this episode really puts that into perspective because we are literally viewing a child. Yeah. And it's kind of crazy. It really goes to show that the Jedi basically put this child on the front lines.
Yeah. They literally did.
Literally.
I mean, because what they did were like they assigned Ahsoka to Anakin, and then they're like, well, Anakin's one of our best fighters. He has to be on the front lines. Well, if you're sending Anakin on the front lines, his Padawan's going on the front lines with him, obviously. Yeah. So, yeah. That's kind of oversight on their part, I guess. Yeah.
This episode definitely puts that into perspective. Some great music. The music in this episode is really well done. Cool. Fight scenes, amazing. Everything with Anakin, perfect. I love it so much. The ending of the episode, where the second half of the episode goes, it's not all that entertaining, but it is well written. It is very well written. Okay. It's just not as engaging as the first half. But when it ends, when the episode is over, I genuinely usually when the episodes are over, I'm either like, okay, that was good, or I have no thought, I didn't really care that much. But when this ended, I was like, that was good. That was great. That was really good. I'm hoping to keep this consistency of writing and quality. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm hoping it stays like this or gets better. But this episode, best episode so far. Incredible transitions with Anakin, and oh my gosh, I know if I'm feeling this way about it, I know you're gonna love it. But it's some like, it feels like almost like fan made type Star Wars stuff where it's like.
It's funny you say that because that's how almost everyone sees Dave Filoni is like. He's like a fan that like became like a star like in the Star Wars like ring basically. Yeah. That's basically how people see Dave Filoni,
which is hilarious because that's what Kevin Feige is. He was a nerd that worked on the set of the original Spider-Man and X-Men movies, and now he's the CEO of Marvel Studios. Yeah. So Dave Filoni and Kevin Feige are, they know what know what to do.
Nerds win.
Nerds win for sure. But Ahsoka episode 5 was really good. Nice, and I'm sure you'll love it.
And then episode 6.
And then episode 6, we'll see what happens next with that. Yeah. And then our only other review this week is a movie I saw. I went and saw this. A Haunting in Venice. Yep. This is the third film in Kenneth Branagh's murder mystery whodunit series. And I'll start off. I'm gonna just. I honestly, I don't remember that much about it. It very very basic and boring.
That kind of does suck, man, because I heard people kind of saying that it was going to be the best, or that it is the best in the trilogy, you know?
Yeah, and we'll get to that. I watched the other movie, the second movie.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely go more in depth on my opinion on that. This, to me, to start off, this movie is as good as the first movie. With some exception being that this movie also might be a little worse.
Okay.
The twist is basic. The paranormal aspect of the film, I have a lot of issues with that because on one hand, it is throughout the whole movie, it's like there's a whole lot of paranormal activity going around, there's some ghosts and spirits. And then at some point in the movie, we kind of learn that maybe that's not what's happening, but and like the whole kind of point of the story is like, oh, maybe that's not what was going on.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, there's just something that contradicts that completely, like entirely.
Yeah.
So maybe there was. I have no idea. Is there paranormal stuff? Are there ghosts? I have no idea.
Damn.
I don't really want to spoil too much for those that want to see it, but I'm going to go ahead and say spoilers just because I can't really say much about this movie without spoiling it and giving it a fair review. So far what I've noticed through all three of these movies is the biggest actor or the biggest name in the movie is the one that goes. Gal Gadot in Death of the Nile, Johnny Depp in Orient Express. Who do you think dies in this movie first? Who do you think is the main victim that starts this movie off?
Don't tell me it's Michelle Yeoh.
It's Michelle Yeoh.
Oh.
And what really
they couldn't afford her for the entire movie.
They couldn't. She gets thrown off. She gets thrown off a balcony and into. It's kind of brutal. A statue. The hand is like reaching up like this.
Yeah.
And she falls on it, and it goes through her chest.
Oh.
And it's like that it didn't go through easily.
Yeah.
It's definitely blunt in her. But it was, so they kill Michelle Yeoh. She's the first one to go. Actually, I think they kill off every single, famous name in this movie, which there aren't many. This movie has the smallest cast of names, the least recognizable names. Okay, so, yeah, this movie's very boring. There's not a lot that happens, and even when they find out what happens, it feels like I don't care. I don't care. I just didn't. I don't think that the movie is necessarily bad. I think there are qualities of it that I enjoyed. Michelle Yeoh and Kenneth Branagh's characters are very interesting together.
Yeah.
They start off very interesting, and they only have one conversation the entire time that Michelle Yeoh's character is alive. She plays the medium. She's the crazy person that they all think is like, oh, you can talk to ghosts. Okay, yeah. And she does her thing. She talks to the ghosts and stuff. And she winds up dead. But in between there's a conversation between Kenneth Branagh, who does not believe in paranormal activity, and Michelle Yeoh's character, who is a medium. It's her job to talk to them. And it's genuinely a very interesting and intriguing conversation. And I wanted to see more of those two characters clash together. And she fucking dies.
Yeah.
I genuinely can't recommend this movie. I gave it a 5 out of 10. It's not awful. It's not offensively bad.
Yeah.
But there's no reason to go see this movie at all. I mean, unless you're like a really big fan of Hercule Poirot, the detective.
The greatest detective in the world.
Yeah. I am the greatest detective in the world. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he loves doing that French accent. He'll do these movies until he can't talk anymore. That's for sure. Because they're not making enough to be doing these many.
Yeah. Doing it every 2 years.
Yeah. And with the cast too. The cast that's in them, they gotta have blackmail on these people. It's just not. I can't recommend it. But if you're a fan of the last two movies and you especially if you enjoyed the first movie, I think you'll probably enjoy this movie. But if you're the majority of people that have seen the other two movies and you were like, yeah, these movies are not good, you're not gonna like this one. Yeah. And it's strange to me that this one has the highest rating on everything. It's got like, I think it has like a 3.5 stars on Letterboxd or something like that. It's got it's got an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's arguably the weakest. I think it's arguably the worst film. Yeah. But it is debatable. I think it's at least as bad as the first one.
Okay.
Yeah. So Haunting in Venice. I don't know. I'll never watch it again.
Yeah.
There's nothing that'll get me to watch this again. I'm very glad I watched this trilogy. Because now I know that I'll never watch this trilogy again. I'll never watch it. But having said that, we can hop into our what did we watch?
Yeah.
Did you have anything this week?
No, I did not.
I noticed there were no reviews made.
I
so.
still have been playing Baldur's Gate.
Yes.
An unhealthy amount.
Yes. I did see though you watched Scary Movie.
Oh yeah, I did. So I actually did watch Scary Movie, but
no review on that.
But I didn't post the like Instagram review for it. I letterboxed it though. I just haven't gotten around to doing the Instagram for it. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, I'll just throw on Scary Movie one day. I just felt like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can do a quick review. One, I definitely suggest Scary Movie to anyone who hasn't seen it. But it is truly like, it's the pinnacle of poking fun at horror movies. I mean, I don't think that any other. So Scream is like a horror movie that does shine the mirror back on the genre itself.
Yeah.
But Scary Movie is like, just like blatantly
completely
making fun of
because Scream is still a great movie. The first Scream is an amazing movie.
Oh yeah. Well, even the Scream like in series and stuff, it like fluctuates and stuff, but they definitely have their like really good movies and stuff like that. But the Scary Movie is obviously one very comedic, very comedy, very camp. Definitely not like this is like a great film or something. But they literally smash Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. They smashed those two movies together, which it's not an unknown thing in this, because I have watched the Scary movies multiple times.
Yeah.
So I know that this is not a common or an uncommon thing for them to mash two or more horror films together. And their tropes and like things that happen and stuff. Like they literally have Ghostface like just doing wacky stuff. Like he stabs a girl and her breast implants come out instead of like her dying or whatever.
Yeah.
And just stupid, crazy stuff like that. The Wayans brothers are two of the big stars, I think, of the movie. I think I forget his what they call Marlon Wayans' character, like Smokey or something like that. I can't
remember, yeah. It's been so long since I've seen that.
He has the best scene in the movie, probably. The "What's up?"
Yes, the classic. Yeah.
It's, even though it's it's a very aged like saying and stuff. Yeah. I find that scene to be like one of the only times that phrase is like actually funny, because they like even like Ghostface's like mask changes when he's smoking the weed. He's like chill, and now it's so funny.
It's got like a little smile. It's so funny. Yeah,
and that's just such a great moment. And I forget the real life actor's name, but the older I think the older Wayans brother who plays the spoiler alert, one of the actual ghost faces of the movie.
Yeah.
He's really good because he's just like, he's like very like, he's a very closeted like gay guy the entire movie. Like he's just like
funny.
He's with like Brenda.
Yeah.
The other like main girl besides Sydney.
Right.
And but like he's like clearly not straight. Like being like the entire movie he's just saying the most gay stuff. They're like making out in the back seat and he's like touches another dude's ass while they're making out.
It's like very comically gay.
Yeah, he's definitely it, And they also have, I do not know the actors' names, but very, very popular, like a very popular like high school kind of age actors in the early 2000s, late 90s that were like that. They're high school age in the sense that like they're clearly too old to be high schoolers, but Hollywood will definitely cast them as high schoolers anyway.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man type stuff.
Yeah. They even make a joke about it. They're in the movie. They're like, haha, we're totally not being played by like 30-year-olds in high school or anything.
Yeah.
But it's obviously on the nose. It's blatantly making fun of scary movies and horror movies and stuff. But it's still just a fun time. Just to, chill to, laugh to, really. It honestly is just a pretty entertaining movie. And I honestly remember the first one not even being like the funniest one.
Okay.
I remember like the second one, and then I know when they introduced Charlie Sheen, that specific one is pretty funny as well. There's one scene with a policewoman where like she's talking to him, and like her hat gets progressively bigger every time the camera comes back to her.
Yeah,
but I even heard like a behind the scenes thing as she was driving away. They were gonna have a big hat on top of the car. I wish they did that.
That would have been great
because it just progressively gets like longer.
Yeah,
and it's like it's just like it's never explained upon. It's never like. It's not a thing that like he even really notices.
Yeah.
But it's just a stupid thing that
it's for you as an audience member to notice only.
Yeah, it's literally because her hat, it starts super small and then it just gets so big.
The brim just gets wider, yeah.
But it honestly, first scary movie, it's a classic, really funny movie. I think on Letterboxd, I want to say I gave it like 2.5 or 3 stars. Just a good movie to turn your brain off to, and really just
of course
fun, stupid movie. Probably on Instagram, probably give it like a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sydney, so the main girl Sydney is that's the name of the main character in Scream.
Yeah,
Sydney.
So, and the girl who plays Sydney, by the way, Anna Faris. She's like perfect in all these movies, and because she's like the one. Her and Brenda, I think, are the only 2 like returning characters in all the scary movies.
Yeah,
and Anna Faris is really good at playing like the stupidest like girl ever on television.
Yeah, she's really good at that.
But it's obviously blatantly like stupid,
just like like Dumb and Dumber type.
Yeah,
being stupid.
Like in the this isn't Anna Faris, but in the opening scene they like. Mock the Drew Barrymore Scream scene, the popular like knife block and all that. And while she's running from the killer, there's literally 2 signs that say death and safety. And the girl goes, oh, death.
Yeah, she runs right towards the death sign. Yeah.
But no, it's very on the nose, but it's a good one.
That's what makes it so good, though. Is like it's not trying to be. It's not commentating on anything.
Yeah.
And it's also not trying to be a good movie.
It's just being dumb.
It's blatant funny commentary.
Yeah.
That's all it is. The only movie I had this week was Death on the Nile, which is the second movie in the Kenneth Branagh murder mystery series. This is my favorite, as far as you can stretch the word favorite, in this series. It surprisingly is the lowest rated, I believe, on all the all the different rating sites and stuff. I really don't get why, because this is the only one where I was even slightly entertained.
Yeah.
The first half of the movie is slow. It's very slow. It almost feels like it can be completely cut out. There's a borderline dance sex scene with Emma Mackey and Armie Hammer.
Yes.
They're on the dance floor. Oh, I timed it. I believe it's a 3-minute scene, or just them dancing, looking like they want to have sex with each other.
Dang.
And so that's in the first half of the movie. Easily could just kind of go. I could not care about the first half of this movie. The twist is also very generic. It's very every single one of these movies, besides maybe the first movie, you could guess the twist.
Yeah.
The reason you can't guess the twist in the first movie is because it's so bad that why would I guess that? You know?
That's the thing, is that it sounds like they did in the third one as well. That like the twist, which is obviously it's like the driving factor of a mystery movie.
Yeah, it's who did it?
It's what everyone's waiting for.
Who done it? Yeah,
and you let us down.
Yes, 3 times. Yeah, 3 times you let us down. However, I think even though the twist in the second movie, completely obvious from the very start, is handled well. It's executed well, and I am actually engaged when when he says it's you. Yeah. I went, yeah, but okay, okay. I knew it was, but I'm interested that it was them. You know, the second the first murder. Or not the first murder, the second that a certain event happens. It's not a murder, but when this certain event happens, it completely shifts the pacing of the movie. The movie goes way faster, and it's very entertaining. And the best part about this movie compared to the other 2 movies is the other 2 movies are a lot of questioning. It's a lot of Hercule Poirot just being like, did you do it? Is it you? I know you did it, you know?
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all the other 2 movies are. But this movie is a lot of actually investigating and trying to figure out who done it. Okay. This one actually, as an audience member, you actually feel like you're trying to guess. Yeah. Even though you probably already know who it is. It does. Okay, so the twist is basic and you see it from coming a mile away. But the movie makes you feel like it might be someone else.
Yeah.
Which is, in that way, makes it better. I mean, I'm guessing, I'm guessing that it might be someone else, but the fact that it turns out to be who it obviously was, it doesn't really matter because I was still enjoying my time watching this movie, trying to figure out who it is, Yeah. The acting is the best in this movie. The acting is so flat in the other 2 movies, but this movie is, it's pretty flat for the most of the time too, but there is a scene when Kenneth Branagh is talking about one of the characters who dies, and he gets like choked up, and I'm like, dang, I really feel that he cared about this character, who it's spoiler, it's the only returning character from the first movie, so it's the character in this that dies that I'm talking about specifically is the only returning character. But when he talks about him, it's like, oh wow, I didn't. It's very well. It's shown very well how much he cared about this character, even though I didn't really care.
Yeah.
It's very well acted. That's what I can say for sure. But this movie is definitely the best in the series. I think I'm very surprised that it is the lowest rated because it's probably equal quality, but it's much more entertaining. Okay. And I actually felt okay watching it. I didn't feel like, okay, when is this over? I felt like I'm actually having fun,
Okay, cool.
Which is the baseline, that's as good as a movie can be if it's not that good. It's like, at least I'm having a fun time watching it, you know? So the other 2 movies I gave a 5 out of 10, and 2 stars, 2.5 stars on Letterboxd. And then this movie I gave a solid 3 stars.
Okay, cool.
It's this is the one that I recommend if you're gonna watch any of them. It's a completely fine whoddunit movie, while not anywhere near like a crazy good one like Knives Out, which is perfect. You'll probably be okay eating some popcorn to watch this movie.
Yeah.
And then the only other recommendation, or what we watch, Breaking Bad. Continuing on Breaking Bad. Season 4. This is the Gus season. The season where Gus really gets to shine. Wow. Now, I knew Gus's fate. I had already seen that scene many times.
Oh, okay.
Last chance to look at me, Hector. I knew that. But getting there is so good.
Dude. Oh my gosh.
So we spend most of this season with Jesse and Walter split apart. This is the I would say this is the season where Jesse really comes into his own.
Yeah.
Where he becomes not a character. He's already been a character, but he becomes his own person.
Yeah.
He does not rely on Walter. The irony though is that he is still being used. He is becoming his own person. He's standing up for himself way more, but he is still being used. And I honestly love that about Jesse as a character, is that he's so tragic. He is unbelievably tragic and sad, and he still tries to do good in awful situations. He still tries to do good. And even when he feels like, no, I'm leaving you, Walter. I'm the man in charge now. He's still being used. He's still a lab rat.
Yeah.
So I think his character is handled very well this season, especially towards the end when some trouble goes down with his girlfriend's son.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I'm really happy the show didn't go the direction I thought they were going to go with that, where, the worst of two outcomes happens. But so so a little bit of spoilers here. Brock, the son of Andrea, Jesse's girlfriend, he is somehow poisoned, and we don't know how it happened, but the ricin, we knew that Jesse was carrying around the ricin, and it's gone, which is very strange. There's a lot at play here, because the ricin is missing, but the ricin wasn't what poisoned him. It was a lily of the valley flower. Okay, sure. How'd that get there? Still, how'd that get there? But the last shot of the show, or of the season, is the lily of the flower pot, or lily of the valley flower pot that's sitting in Walter's garden that he literally looks at. He spins the gun, and he's spinning it around, and it points directly at the flower pot, and he notices.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
They always know how to rattle you at the end of the season. They always know how to rattle you.
I kind of thought the last thing that we would see this season was maybe Hank finding out. I thought maybe, that makes sense to be a last thing, is sitting on the toilet reading the pamphlet, finding out, and then it kind of, he looks up and then it cuts to credits. I'm sure it'll be even better because they didn't do that. So yeah, but they ended on the lily of the valley shot.
Yeah,
and it's a haunting, like, oh my god,
it is. It the whole reveal, like the whole kind of build up and stuff to it. It feels very like ominous, kind of, and it obviously gives a very maybe not an epiphany, but more of like a newer realization about Walt.
How far he's willing to go.
Yeah.
It does, because it's funny, because this season I felt like Walter isn't. I didn't feel that yet. I genuinely have not felt up until now that Walter is the villain.
Yeah.
I felt like he is very flawed. He has done awful things, but all in the sake of his family and in sake of a lot of ego in there, but also it is, at the end of the day, there you can still say it's for his family. This was definitely only to protect himself.
Yeah.
Which is very horrifying as far as he was willing to go for this. We got one more season to go, but one of the greatest written characters ever. Just, I have yet to see anything that kind of tops this character in television specifically.
Oh yeah,
I mean, even movies. I mean, he's like top 5. You know,
yeah.
He's like, this season is also when this isn't when Skylar gets involved. She gets involved in the 3rd season. This is when she finds out and kind of gets more into his life and stuff as a cook and his double life, basically.
Yeah,
she's so. It's so infuriating in this season specifically when she tries to, no, we have to do it this way. We have to buy the car wash because the car wash is what's gonna, we need this. If you would just have bought the laser tag place, it probably would have gone way better.
Yeah. Have you gotten to I don't know if this is in 3 or 4, Have you gotten to the scene or the episode where, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but Skylar, we'll say, donates some of Walter's money.
Yeah, that's the end of that. Yes. Oh my God, I actually completely forgot. It's the under the floorboards.
Yeah, the crawl space.
Yeah.
One of the best shots in the show, by the way, is that
incredible shot.
Oh my
Beautiful shot. That entire last act of that episode. I think it's the second to last episode.
I think so, yeah. I want to say.
And she gives, because it's a bunch of events that happen to make this, like, it could have been okay, but it's because Ted dies.
Yeah.
Ted fucking trips over a rug and breaks his neck.
Yeah.
She gave him all of their money.
Yeah.
Almost. And now they don't have enough money to leave and to disappear forever. And so now they have to follow through with the consequences.
Yeah.
And
that's why Walt is so like, what?
Yeah,
that's so like, because he's frantic and everything.
Yeah, he goes to Gus. He says, "I need the guy. We need to disappear now.
Yeah,
it has to happen." And I mean, if this didn't happen, they wouldn't have got Gus. But this had to happen so they could get Gus. But without knowing that there was a way to get Gus, this is haunting.
Oh yeah,
the music, just like this low baritone note the entire time. And as it zooms out on the floorboard shot of him underneath the floorboard, like laughing, and then he stops. And he just
and he starts laughing.
Yeah, and then it zooms up, and then it goes out of the hallway, and you can still hear him laughing a little bit, and then it kind of dies down, and it stops at the end of the hallway, and it just cuts to black. Wow. Oh my gosh.
I literally, bro, when I saw that scene, I was like, oh my God. Bryan Cranston, bro.
He should have just broke the rules and given him an Oscar for
this.
this.
He's insane, bro.
Yeah.
And that's such an iconic look too, the tape on his nose.
Yeah.
That's such an iconic look for Walter.
Yeah. Isn't that, I think that's the look on the poster for this season, the yellow.
I think so, yeah.
Where it's his head's down.
Did you see him in I don't know if this is in this season or the next, but in the long sleeve green button up with the tape on his nose and the glasses? Have you seen that yet?
I think that's in this.
I think so as well.
Season, yeah.
I forget he has a big line that he says in that kind of outfit, but I forget the exact line.
I don't think that's the season that you're thinking. Is it Say My Name? Is that the...
No, because I don't think he's in that outfit for Say My Name, because he's in I think he goes back...
Heisenberg.
He goes back to the traditional kind of Heisenberg with the hat, I think, for that one. But... Oh, no, it's when he's on the call. It's when he's on the phone.
I won? That's the end of the season, yeah. Yeah, so I have seen that look. And speaking of which, not that scene, but he's on that same rooftop, I believe, is the rooftop when he's watching Gus go to the car.
Dude.
And Gus doesn't get in.
Dude, I'm not even joking. When I watched that scene, my mind melted, bro. I'm like, what? It's so crazy what that scene actually does to you. You're following along with Walter.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, there is no plausible reason he should know to not get in the car.
Yeah, there's no reason.
There is no reason for him to suspect anything. And then he stops. Yeah. And then he turns around and walks away.
And I noticed that he does look, he looks around to see, but I think he saw Walter the moment he stopped.
You think so?
I think he probably saw him when he stopped.
I don't know. I kind of always envisioned it as he didn't see Walter, and he truly just had this gut instinct that he literally his entire body was just
don't get in that car.
And he just that's the level of guy we're dealing with. We're you think you have him pinned down, but his gut instinct can just save him from...
Spidey sense.
Yeah, him following that can just literally save him from getting into this dire situation and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when he actually does go in the the
Yeah.
famous scene, it's shot perfectly. It's shot perfectly
God.
with how it cuts after the and then he walks out, and the side that we see obviously is a perfectly intact side.
Yeah.
Before it pans over, me seeing that, bro, I'm like, no way, bro. There's no way.
Yeah.
That is impossible.
It's
bro.
impossible.
No. He's not the Terminator. There's no way, bro.
Yeah.
And then obviously he does the pan and stuff, but
he drops to his knees.
wow, he just
Fixes his tie and drops to his... One of the most badass deaths of all time.
oh my gosh.
I mean, Gus Fring is one of the greatest villains
Oh,
ever.
yeah.
And he's got one of the greatest send-offs.
The whole, welcome to Los Polos Hermanos.
Yeah.
That friendly manager, but I run a drug cartel and stab people and stuff,
Yeah, he at the beginning of the season he kills Victor.
Yeah, with the razor blade, right?
The box cutter.
The box cutter, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gruesome. He's just walking.
He doesn't say a single thing in that entire scene.
Yeah, because Walt's begging for his life because he thinks he's gonna stab him and Jesse. He's like, "You need us." No, you do, and then he just goes and stabs the other guy. I'm like, what the what is it? What's happening, bro?
Because I think, so when that scene starts, it's just Mike, Walter, Jesse, and Victor standing there waiting for Gus.
Oh yeah, because it's the aftermath, right, of
Gale.
Of Gale, yeah, it's the aftermath of that.
And so when Gus gets there, it goes quiet. No one says anything, and then Walt says something, and then he says something else, and he keeps talking. And Gus doesn't say a single thing. He goes, he takes off his suit and stuff, all his clothes, puts on the hazmat suit.
All calmly, folds up his clothes, stuff like that,
He goes over to Walter with the box cutter, and Walter's like, okay, you don't have to do this. He's like, you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
And he walks over to walks behind Victor, and he slits his throat. And he stabs him a couple more times, I think.
Yeah.
And then after that, he does the exact opposite. Takes the thing off, puts his clothes back on, walks up the stairs, all the way up to the door, and he looks down at them and he goes, "Get to work." And he walks out.
Oh my god. So hard, bro.
Hey, there are three iconic villains of all time: Thanos, Darth Vader, and Gus Fring.
Gus Fring. The Chicken Man.
The Chicken Man. Yes.
Bro, so you saw his backstory too, right?
Yep. Oh man, it makes sense. It makes complete sense of why he does what he does. It is kind of revealed in this season that he kind of does this purely to get back.
Yeah.
It's everything he has done.
He truly hates the Salamancas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just
Don Eladio.
He wants to spite them, truly. That's his goal.
Which is why it's so weird because we don't really want Walt to win, but we do want Walt to win.
Yeah.
We don't want Gus to win, but we do want Gus to win.
Yeah.
And we definitely don't want the Salamancas to win, but they ended up winning.
Yeah.
And it's a very weird situation where Walt wins, Gus loses, and Hector Salamanca wins, / kind of loses just because he dies.
Yeah.
But he wins. But I don't want Hector to win. If anything, in that battle of Hector and Gus, I want Gus to win because Gus is. He's wrong.
There are even moments in the season where Walt, at least to me, where Walt's ego was so much, where I was honestly, Gus beating Walt isn't that horrible of a thing, happening. Obviously, I'd be sad because I was kind of rooting for Walt.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was also kind of rooting against Walt.
Walter in this season is very out of the loop. He is not informed on anything. He doesn't talk to Mike or Gus other than that first episode, I believe.
Yeah.
And he only talks to Saul, and the entire time he's like, "Get information for me, please."
Yeah.
Because Jesse won't talk to me.
We're done. When I say
that wasn't in this season.
That wasn't in this season.
That's in next season.
That's such a good scene.
I thought that was in this season though, because I would have expected it.
I thought it was too.
But now knowing that, with everything that happens with Gus and stuff, it would make sense that he probably would be like, I want out.
Yeah.
And then he would say, we're done. We're say we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. This season, and Hank is one step closer to finding out.
Yeah, man. He's getting there.
Yeah, this was when this is kind of the season when Hank and Walter kind of form a bromance, kind of like a weird, like, they shouldn't be here together, but it's kind of fun to watch them together kind of thing. And Hank is obviously this incident that got him in this wheelchair, and his ruined his body basically with the cousins Salamancas.
Yeah.
This incident has kind of not humbled him, but made him a much more I don't want to say sweeter character, but he's gained empathy, I guess, sympathy. Yeah. He's softer. He doesn't feel as hard as he was in the first 2 seasons. Cracking jokes every 5 seconds. Being a little racist, being a little misogynistic.
Yeah.
This season feels more like, he literally tells Walter like 3 times throughout the season. Every time they're on screen, he's like, you can talk to me, Walt. I'll listen to if you have anything to say. And Walter says the same thing back. But it's, man, Hank is Hank's pretty good.
Yeah.
I
think a lot of people, because we see the like show from Walt's point of view and stuff.
Yeah.
But like in real life, Hank's character is like, he's the good guy of the story.
He is.
He's the hero of the story.
Hank is the hero of the story. Yeah.
And that's kind of what TV does, It distorts the audience's view. We see through the eyes of the villain or the gray man, whatever kind of, not the typical hero.
Yep.
And but like in real life, obviously, Hank would definitely be like that kind of hero role, because obviously, Gus, Walt, Salamanca, all of them are dangerous to, other people and stuff like that, put other people's lives in danger quite often and stuff like that, take other people's lives, take advantage of people in general. At the end of the day, man, I just want Jesse to be happy. That's truly how I felt, honestly, like towards like season 4 and 5.
Yeah.
I was like, when they really start showing Walt's like ugly sides and stuff, it truly just kind of gets to the point where I'm just like, I just want Jesse to be happy, man. I want him to have an ending that he deserves, a good ending.
Yeah, because the first 3 seasons, I've been like, I've honestly, for the most part, been on Walter's side. He has very egotistical reasoning and does egotistical things, awful things, but there is still good intentions behind the majority of it.
And it felt like it also felt like he was like fighting worse people.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
But then he like became that like worse person,
That's the thing, is he literally tells Jesse, who do you know that is okay with hurting kids and putting kids in danger? Gus,
Yeah.
Gus is, he poisoned Brock. Turns out Walt has become as bad as his enemy, It's that turning point.
Yeah.
It is kind of this is the moment he became Heisenberg.
Yeah. Hey,
I'd say that this is a very fair argument to make, that this is the moment he became Heisenberg.
Yeah.
But all I have left is this final season.
The final season.
And then, of course, El Camino and Better Call Saul. But of Breaking Bad, I have 1 more season, and I will have almost nothing left. But I'm so excited to finish this show.
It is so good.
I'm excited to finish this show, but I might rewatch it when it's over. I'm gonna be like, I gotta rewatch it.
I'm not even joking. I actually did rewatch Breaking Bad as soon as I finished it.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad and then Game of Thrones. I rewatched Game of Thrones too, but with Game of Thrones, I only ended up rewatching like the first 4 seasons. The second time around, I was like, I can stop here. I watched even the really
because
good
what
stuff.
happens after that, so you can just rewatch the good stuff.
Yeah.
Luckily, with Breaking Bad, it seems that it's
all good.
It's just all good, yeah.
So I won't lie. I've seen a very, very small minority of people like say that the Breaking Bad doesn't have that as good of an ending as the rest of the show, but literally nobody thinks that it's like a bad ending by any means.
Okay.
I've just seen some people say that it just takes a slight step down, but I completely disagree on that front. I think it's an amazing ending.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
The final 3 episodes in particular are wow.
After watching, well, not after, but while watching season 4, the entire time I'm thinking, I can't wait to see Ozymandias specifically, because that is, I mean, it's like the best episode ever made of anything ever. So I have to.
It is the highest rated episode on IMDb ever by any show, and I think like acclaim wise, it's probably the most talked about singular episode in any show. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely was looking forward to that, to that specific episode as well, and it lives up to the hype.
I'm so excited to see that episode and just the ending in general.
Yeah,
I can't wait. Wow. Well, we've come to the end of the episode.
We have.
Thank you all so much for tuning in this week. If you'd like to find us on our socials, you can find us on Instagram. I am at Maceo Movies.
I am at Loader Reviews.
You can find us on Instagram at the Cinemaniacs Pod, where you see updates, clips, and just in general everything us.
Yeah.
And you can follow our socials for movie reviews. So, thank you so much for tuning in this week. And we'll see you all in the next episode of the Cinemaniacs Podcast.
Brofist.
Brofist. Second Brofist.
Yeah.
New ending. This is just us doing.
We're stealing it.
Yeah. He had a kid. We're all right. He's not doing it anymore.
PewDiePie, step aside. New guys are in town.
New guys are here. The Cinemaniacs Podcast.